Okay, this will be a boring one, but hopefully we can make something good out of it. Gonna leave it on red. Going back to some of the old go-to formulas that we used with this equipment. We haven't done it like this for a very long time. We've been trying to change things around and make it more interesting, different. So I'm just going to go back to an old version of how I normally use this feature, the negative positive feature. So let's see what we've got. We've got here, it says your home, expect more home loan. Bank of Sydney. You could call it a micro bank. It's only a small business, only a small bank. I don't know if it's really good to go with small banks, even though big banks are too greedy and pissy. They just care about money, the big banks, but you get the feeling that a small bank could easily go out of business, and if you've got a home loan, logic tells me you're going to fucking crash and burn with the bank. So you're in that situation where you still need the big banks, even though they're a bunch of greedy porkers who care only about money. The banking industry has a really bad reputation for porkery, but the problem is they obviously know they've got the power, and they've got the power. The big four banks in Australia, they've got the power. So basically, if you try to use a little micro bank, and they go out of business because the big banks just have the power and the how should I put it? They've just got so much power now, but we need banks. Like anything, money is not in itself is not evil. It's what the attitude towards money that is. It's the love of money that's evil. It's the love of money, not money in itself. Money in itself is necessary. We all need money. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that I'm out to destroy the currency. We all need money. It's just the bloody attitude that these rich people have to it that makes it a problem. It's just the rich people but it's not just the rich. Poor people love money too, but they don't have much sway in how things occur. But they do consume things like lotteries. A lot of people love to play lotteries in the vain hope that they're going to win something. It's like, fuck, I don't have any time or desire to throw my money around like that. I don't have that sort of money. I know that to gamble is wrong. Gambling is bad. It's just one of the many manifestations of the love of money, and that's one of them, is gambling. And the more you play, the more you lose. The people that run the gambling institutes, or the businesses, should I say, are the ones that benefit, not you. You're just a pawn. You're just a fucking gullible person who just, sorry to be rude, to be pointing the finger, but I'm telling you, to gamble is foolishness. Foolishness to throw money away that you don't have, that you often don't have. I don't understand it, folks. I struggle to understand the logic behind gambling. I mean, I can understand that you want more money in this life and shit like that, but it's not going to give you any more. Even if you win lotto, you're probably going to fret it away later, playing lotto again, thinking your lucky numbers will once again come up. And it's just so gullible that people just think that they can win. It's so easy to get into. It's so easy to fall into that trap of gambling, you know, and then you get addicted to it. And then what then? You get addicted and it's bloody like a ball and chain around your ankle. I'm so over this love of money in this world. I'm so over people who control our lives like the banks, making us reliant on their fucking products. And we are reliant on them. That's the horrible thing. We need their bloody shit. We need their product. Otherwise, how are we supposed to do business, or how are we supposed to live? We need the fucking banks, unfortunately, but they need us as customers. Now I'm just going to enlarge this even bigger on the vertical. So we're going to make it 260. So yeah, we become reliant on these big institutions. And when you do, and as I said, those micro banks probably don't have enough patronage or power, and they end up going under and for all I know, they'll end up taking with them their customers, you know, which is really bad. But what can we do to avoid having to be subjected to the big banks? How do we rebel against the status quo when it comes to money? When it comes to, how do we do it, folks? I haven't got it. Even I don't have any answers for that. I myself bank with a big bank. I mean, shit. My mum used to work for the same bank that I bank with. That's why I started banking with them, because my mum worked for them. But basically, she was made redundant. So they make people redundant a lot of the time. People that work as their staff, and of course, capitalists love to trim the fat, so to speak, or trim the jobs and the staff. And mum didn't want to have to retire, but she did. She had to. What else could she do? She did do a lot of temping jobs and shit like that, but she never had a secure job since she was made redundant from the bank. So she wasn't terribly chuffed being made redundant, but that's the big business for you, folks. Greedy and ruthless. They make us so dependent. Big banks, big fucking fat pigs that they are. Evil doing fucks. We still need their fucking banking. That's what really pisses me, is I haven't got a way of revolting against the status quo of banking. Anyway, I think we've made that look into something more interesting than what it was. I think now we can call this one quits.